This video is to allow you to correct your homework for section 1.2.1. So the first one was 146. You had to match the descriptions of the pennies with a possible numerical expression and then calculate the value of the expressions. So the first one we have is 11 piles of 10 pennies with 7 left over. So we're looking for 11 piles of 10 pennies, which would be 11 times 10, and then we're adding an extra 7. So we'd be looking at this third expression, and then the value of that would be 11 times 10 is 110, plus 7 is 117. The next one is a rectangular array of pennies that is 9 pennies long and 12 pennies wide, with 5 left over. So we're looking at this fourth one, 9 times 12 plus the 5. So 4 would be the next one, and specifically it would be 113 cents. 9 times 12 is 108 plus the 5. For C, we've got 8 stacks of 12 pennies with 7 left over, which would be the first one here. So 1 matches with C, and 8 times 12 is 96 plus 7 is 103. And then here we've got 6 pennies wide, 20 pennies long, 5 left over, so of course that's this one. So 2 matches with D, and the value of that is 125. Here you have to write a whole number or fraction to make the statement true. So 100 pennies would equal, of course, $1. 200 pennies equals $2. 50 pennies equals half a dollar. 10 pennies equals 1/10 of a dollar. 1 penny equals 1/100th of a dollar. Now remember, it had to be whole number or fraction, so that's why we would not go with decimals here. And then Matthew's mother asked him to go to the store for her. To get to the store, he walked 7 city blocks. He caught the bus and rode 13 blocks. He got off and walked 1.5 blocks to the store. He purchased the items his mom wanted and returned home the same way. How many total blocks did he travel? So he went the 7 blocks plus the 13. Then he walked the 1.5, which I went with as a decimal, and then the same thing back. So the total would be 43 blocks. 7 plus 13 is 20. Here's another 20, makes 40, and then this makes 3. Here, which numbers make these division problems correct? And you have to replace each box and triangle with a single-digit number. So the first one is easier. What digit would be in the tens place with a 2 in the ones place, so that if we divided it by 6, we get 12. And that answer would be 7, because 72 divided by 6 equals 12. This one's a little bit trickier. We're looking for the tens digit, and we're also looking for the ones digit in the quotient. So there's actually 2 possible answers. You could have a 2 in the dividend, so it'd be 228 divided by 4, giving you 57. So the 7 would be in the quotient or the triangle spot. Or you could have a 0 in the tens place in the dividend. So 208 divided by 4, giving you 52. 2 would be in the triangle spot or in the quotient. For 150, they want you to draw line segments that are the same length, each being about as long as a pen. So you may want to do this in your notebook and take a picture. They want you to draw marks on the first line segment to show how you can divide it into 8 equal lengths. So the easiest way to do that would be to first divide it in half, and then take half of the first half, half of the second half, and then half of each of the fourths would end up putting it into eighths altogether. And then they want you to draw marks on the second one to show how you can divide it into fifths. Now that's a little bit trickier because you can't do something as simple as halves, so you have to kind of estimate where these lines would be so that you end up getting fifths. And then they want to know which task is easier, and hopefully you would have seen that the first one is easier because, again, when you want to break into 8 pieces, you take half, then half of those halves, then half of those.